What is going on, FTN? You see Javi dancing. Shout out George Z for the phenomenal new intro video. Welcome to NBA Live 4-game slate for Tuesday, March 15th. John Morant just officially ruled out. Said someone in Discord. We'll see if it's official. Javi, how are you doing? It's been a while since we've been on camera together.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's just, I request not to be put on with Bucks fans who are big homers, so that's why. Plus, I see you roasting my Heat all the time. All right, it hurts my feelings, Joe.
I will say,
my feelings.
My Heat hate goes back to, I want to say 2012, 2011, during the Brandon Jennings era. So it's nothing personal, but I'm not a Heat guy, and you know that.
Yeah. Well, we are the bubble champions. Well, bubble runner-up champions, I guess. So always keep that in mind.
Well, we have 4 games on tap. A lot of time. Biggest news of the slate was expected. Obviously, John Morant deemed doubtful heading into the slate. I'm going to go to Twitter and confirm that he's been ruled out because I haven't seen.
So he's out.
Okay. So this is shaping up to be a pretty damn chalky slate. So we can dive right in and go game by game, but because we have so much time, I'm thinking we do game by game, just talk about general strategy and then questions as always. First game of slate is the game that we were talking about at hand. Memphis, 6.5-point road favorites against the Pacers without John Morant. So obviously we're going to see a lot of ownership condensed on this first game, but 2 of the 3 games lock at 7 o'clock, one at 7:30, one at 8. So all within 1 hour of each other. So let's dive right into the Memphis side first. Javi, John Morant out. What do you make of this team? What are you prioritizing?
Yeah, I mean, the first priority is going to be Tyus Jones. Like, he's going to get the biggest boost, in my opinion. He should get the start here. It's a boost for the entire team. Like, John Morant eats up a ton of usage for this team, but Tyus Jones, I hate to use the word free square, but he pretty much is. Like, he's going to be starting. He's going to be getting some big minutes here, and he's dirt cheap, like on both sides, on FanDuel and DraftKings. On DraftKings, he's 3,400. We've seen him smash in this spot before. Indiana, that defense is now dust. Ever since they sold at the deadline. So yeah, Tyus Jones is a focus. I'm a little worried about Dillon Brooks. I think he's fine too. He's projecting well, but how much time is he really going to get after that multi-month absence? It's only his second game back. Do we have a minutes limit for him? I don't think they've announced it, right?
No, I mean, he shot 26 last game. I would assume 28, 29. I'm going to go see what I haven't projected for while you talk. But the one thing I'll say, like, I definitely, there is trepidation with Dillon Brooks because of the minutes, but at the same time, that 4.9 price feels like that's kind of baked into his price. 14 shots last game. He's going to chuck. As long as he stays out of foul trouble, which we know is one of his issues. He had 4 fouls in 26 minutes last game, but if there's a defense where it won't be an issue, or an offense, I guess it is Indiana. I like Dillon Brooks a lot. He's coming in right now, projected 52% owned, second highest owned behind Tyus Jones. I don't think I'd be overweight. I think I'd be on par, if not a little below the field. But Tyus Jones, I legit don't see a way to avoid him in a single entry on this slate. Like, where else would you pivot? That's the thing. Yeah. I'm not prioritizing RJ Hampton over Tyus Jones, but talk to me more about like the other. Obviously, we have Dillon Brooks, we have Tyus Jones. Who else are you looking at on Memphis?
I mean, this again, it's a boost for the entire team. For me, the next piece I'm going to look at potentially is probably DeAnthony Milton. Again, not a sexy name there, 4,500. His minutes have been down, but he should get a big boost in minutes today. Maybe not like 14, 18, 19 his last 3 games. I think he's going to get up to 22 to 24 minutes today, potentially more. We'll have to wait and see. But at 4,400 or 4,500 against Indiana, again, like I said, this Indiana team has just since before the All-Star break, they're just in pretty much a tank mode. I mean, I like what they did at the trade deadline, but they're bad defensively. They're still missing some key pieces defensively. So he's the guy that I feel will go overlooked too. So that's what I'm looking for in this Memphis team, to see who goes overlooked. Jaren Jackson, he should smash here. Like, this is his spot right here, 6,500. You talked about foul trouble. If he can stay out of it, this is the guy that's going to crush this Indiana team. Still no Miles Turner. Sabonis is out. Who's going to cover this guy? The question is, his minutes are just all over the place. Like he got 30 minutes last game, but he hadn't exceeded 30 minutes in the 4 games before that. And 2 of those games were blowouts, so maybe you can accommodate, or you can factor that in there. But still, he's not a guy that's going to get a shit ton of minutes here. But he has seen 36 minutes a few games ago. He saw 32 minutes, but it's really just mid 20s to higher 20s in the minutes range that he's going to get. So it's a little worrisome for me. But at 6,500, no Ja Morant, I think Jaren Jackson is a phenomenal play. His ownership was low to begin the day. I don't know if it's increased at all, though.
Let me look what we have. We have Jaren Jackson for about 15%, which on a 4-game slate is pretty low. So my 2 favorites, Tyus Jones being the obvious one. I think Dylan Brooks is second based on price and usage. We have him for just under 27 minutes, which I'm okay with for 4,900. I like Jaren Jackson a lot. Has over a 28% usage rate with Ja Morant out this season. I think if you are looking to kind of get off the beaten path with these Grizzlies players, Jaren Jackson is your avenue to do so. I think Desmond Bane's another good option too.
Yeah.
At 6'7", I don't think a ton of people will get there. He also, like, I know you and David love the narratives. Like, he is supposed to have up to 200 friends and family at the game today after visiting his hometown of Richmond yesterday. Apparently, I don't know if he's flying people out, but I was told, I saw on Twitter he should have upwards of 200 friends and family in the building. His rates don't really change. He still hovers around a 23-24% usage rate with Morant active versus inactive, but we have seen he's much more inclined to shoot this season. We have him projected for 33.1 fantasy points. That's nearly 5x, 24%. That is less than half of what Dylan Brooks is, about a third of what Tyus Jones is. So I think you can get creative with how you play these guys. Single entry, I still prefer the top 2 in Brooks and Tyus Jones. I like the DeAnthony Melton call quite a bit. Would you set any rules on a lineup with maxing out exposure, not mixing any 2 combinations or anything like that for Memphis?
Yeah, I think I'd go one of Bane or JJJ. So I miss Bane. I wrote him up. I like him a lot, and it's mainly because of the narrative. Like, I was between Bane and JJJ, and for me, I do lean Bane here, just because of the narrative, just because of the guard spot. But I'd only play one of Bane or Jackson, and then I'd max Memphis exposure to 3 guys. Oh, there's the other important news we just got. Cade Cunningham out. That's big.
He's out.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
man.
questionable with an illness. So
yeah, fuck. That's annoying. That really hurts my. So no, okay. So I had obviously 150 teams in the underdog best ball. The semifinals this week. I have 3 that are on pace to move on to the finals, like the final round. And Cade Cunningham is one of my most exposed. One of the players I have the most exposure to, and Ja Morant's another one. So hopefully I can overcome that. But I think 2 or 3 is going to be my sweet spot. I think you can get away with 4 because of how small the slate is, but it's not something I love. I think if I were to go 3, it'd probably be like Tyus Jones, Dylan Brooks, and one of Bane or Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to use, like, if I'm not using, I wouldn't want to use DeAnthony Melton if I'm using both Dylan Brooks and Tyus Jones, because one of them is going to come off the court when he comes in. I want players that correlate a little better than that. Any interest in Steven Adams? He obviously doesn't see a massive rate boost across the board with Ja Morant in or out. Offense changes a bit, but this is an exploitable matchup.
Very exploitable matchup. 5,800. It's another guy that's not going to be too high in the minutes department. Like, he's not going to really exceed 30 minutes. If you look at his last 6 games, he's only done that once. So I'm a little concerned about there. I think there's more upside with Jackson or Bane personally. So back to what you're saying about Memphis exposure. Like, Tyus Jones is the guy that I really want. I think one of Desmond Bane or Jaren Jackson, like one of those 2 guys, is going to break the slate. For me, I do lean Bane, but I'm going to have exposure to the Jackson too. And then the last spot you can do is you can go DeAnthony Melton, or you can go Dylan Brooks. I think either or of one of those 2 is fine too. I'm just worried about Brooks's minutes. He got more minutes than I projected last time, which is surprising considering the time he missed. But I mean, it's tough there to decide. I think Brooks is obviously safer, but Melton, you're going to get your leverage with.
Someone in chat's asking what is the Bane narrative. Apparently, there's something on Twitter about him having 200 tickets to the game for friends and family. I'll try and pull it up. While we swing over to the Indiana side, Malcolm Brogdon is expected to play after missing 2 games with a concussion. I know TJ McConnell is still out. Chris Duarte is currently still listed. He's listed as available now. I believe Lance Stevenson also available. He is. The only game time decision right now is Goga, which would impact Isaiah Jackson. So let's start with the Indiana side and start in the backcourt. Do you have any interest in Halliburton or Brogdon?
Do we get Brogdon news that he's in?
He's expected to play.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that just makes me not want to play either one then. I would love to play some Halliburton if Brogdon was out. We've seen this smash the smash spot before with Brogdon at this price tag. Like he's too cheap in my opinion. He was out for a while. And in 2 games he still got 30 plus minutes. Then he saw 41 minutes on March 2nd where he broke the slate at 65 DK points. And like the upside is there, especially with no John Morant. I'm not saying John Morant is like an amazing defender here. Plus this Memphis team, I was watching the live final and I was shocked at that Memphis defense because it was a team we targeted early on, and then midway through the season they became one of the best defenses again, and now it seems like they're on the downward spiral too. So I think Brogdon is extremely sneaky here. Like I think he is the guy that I'm looking at from the if I want Indiana exposure. Like if you're gonna play 3 or 4 Memphis guys, it's okay to bring it back, but these guys you don't necessarily need to bring back, but Brogdon's the guy that I'm looking at the most. I mean, we need to wait on news on the big men, to see who we're going to play from that end. Like, I need Goga news to decide everything else, but Brogdon's the guy that I have circled here. I'm not going to play Hield. He's too expensive with Brogdon in, and Halliburton's a little expensive too with Brogdon in. I do worry that they're going to limit his minutes a little bit, but if you look at his last 4 games that he played before he went out, 37, 35, 36, 41 minutes. If he's going to get those kind of minutes against this Memphis team that takes a hit defensively, I mean, they do improve with Dylan Brooks back. Obviously, if he's not playing Hack-a-Brooks this game, but I do like Brogdon as a very sneaky play, and I don't think anyone's going to play him.
No, I like Brogdon a lot. Anytime he's under that 8K right now, I like him a lot. And we haven't seen him kind of rise past that price tag. I'm looking for his ownership percentage here. 16%. That's pretty damn low on a 4-game slate. So I like the Brogdon call quite a bit. If Goga is ruled out, I will have a bit more interest in Isaiah Jackson. Good point per minute producer. More likely to obviously pick up more minutes at center with Goga out, despite the fact that he has been starting. Difficult matchup, but at his price, I don't think it really matters. This Memphis team has been really hard to predict this year. It's like as crazy as it may sound, they're 12-2 without John Morant this season. That's not me trying to put like a ding in his potential MVP candidate. It just shows how good they are. Both Taylor Jenkins as a coach and just their team around John Morant. They're actually one of my sleepers in the Western Conference. So this game will be fun. I don't really have any interest in Buddy Hield or Tyrese Halliburton at their prices. Like Tyrese Halliburton at 9.3, I'd rather play both CJ McCollum and Devin Booker for that price. And I assume the masses would too. So anything else in this one before we move on to the second game of the slate, the Nets and the Magic?
Yeah, I mean, if Goga's out, I might have some exposure to Jalen Smith. Not a guy who's going to get a ton of minutes, but 27, 24, 28, 29 minutes the last 4 games. I wish he got over 30 minutes, but it doesn't seem like that's the case here. He did get 37 minutes a few games ago against Orlando. So, I mean, the minutes are a little worrisome, but I think I'd have some exposure. And same thing with Isaiah Jackson as you. So I don't hate the call there. But I'm good. That's it. We got to wait on news there.
Yep. So we will move on to the next game on the slate. We have a matchup between the Brooklyn Nets and the Orlando Magic. Brooklyn 9.5-point road favorite. Not a lot of pertinent news here. LaMarcus Aldridge remains out. Jalen Suggs also out for Orlando. Orlando will be starting Cole Anthony, RJ Hampton, Franz Wagner, Mo Bamba, and Wendell Carter. Seth Curry and Cam Thomas also out for Brooklyn. So let's start on the Brooklyn side. Up top with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Are you prioritizing one of these two? What are you doing with this Nets team?
Hold on as a fighter jet flies by my house. But for me, Joe, I'm not – I hate to say on a 4-game slate I'm not going to play either one. I will play most likely Kevin Durant over Kyrie. But for me, I'm leaning more playing some value guys like Andre Drummond. Like I think he's a great play at 5,800. The problem is the minutes. It seems to be a common occurrence. Jaren Jackson, Steven Adams, Jalen Smith, all these big guys don't get enough minutes, and they're such good point per minute producers. But I think at 5,800, he can definitely crush this Orlando Magic's team. So I mean, that's the guy that I'm really looking at. Durant, obviously a great play against Orlando, who ranks towards the bottom in defensive efficiency. They can easily smash here, but I am a little concerned about an $11,100 price tag here for Kevin Durant. So that's the scary part, because he needs a lot to get there. But it is a 4-game slate. We've seen it before where, a guy with this price tag only gets 55 DK points, but they still are in the optimal build. So I'll definitely have exposure. As for Kyrie, I really don't know what to do with Kyrie and on it, like any slate that Kevin Durant's in, because I feel like Kevin Durant eats into his upside, which is normally the case. He really hasn't exceeded 55 DK points. He's only done it 2 of the last 6 games. So that's something to note here. At 10-2, I guess he's fine against Orlando, but I much prefer Kevin Durant for a little bit more than Kyrie. But my focus here really is Andre Drummond at the center position, just because I don't love too many centers tonight. So,
yeah, I like the Drummond call a lot. I think there's a couple ways. I think this is the game where you can really differentiate your lineup if you want to. They're asking in chat, like, how do you differentiate on a chalky 4-game slate? I think this game is the answer.
Goga's out, by the way.
Goes out, so that helps Isaiah Jackson a lot. A little bump to Jalen Smith as well. I wrote up Kevin Durant. I don't know if I'm going to put him in my single entry yet, but at the same, like we've seen this before. Nikola Jokic, a different player, but 5-game slate, a week and a half ago, Nikola Jokic, I think he was the most expensive player by 2,500. Came in, had 95, and was 15% owned. Like at a point, to me, when a player's ceiling is untouchable by just about everyone else on the slate, like, sure, that might be a top 0.1% outcome, but if they hit that, there's no way anyone's catching you. I think that would be the rationale to playing Kevin Durant today. I also, this is going to be kind of if you're trying to get really off the wall, I don't think it's out of the question to pair Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Since Kevin Durant's return, with both of them on the court together, Kyrie's averaging 1.37 DraftKings points per minute. Kevin Durant, 1.19. Both have about a 25% usage rate, over 20% assist rate. So both are doing just fine with each other on the court. It just really limits the rest of your lineup. I like Andre Drummond a lot. He's averaging 1.45 fantasy points per minute with LaMarcus Aldridge out. My only issue with Drummond, like you said, is the minutes. Like, if this game gets out of hand, they won't need to push him. Then I think from there you can really have some interest in Nick Claxton. If you are scripting this to be a blowout, I think Nick Claxton is a great value for 20-plus minutes at the center position, similar to Onyeka Okongwu yesterday. I think Claxton with the same type of rationale. Any interest in either Patty Mills or Goran Dragic or Bruce Brown with both Seth Curry and Cam Thomas out?
I mean, is Goran Dragic going to get 38 minutes again? What the hell is that?
I know. Cam Thomas didn't play, and then obviously Kyrie was out. But yeah, that won't happen again.
No, I don't think I'm going to get there. Patty Mills, that guy has no. I mean, the floor is disgusting. He has no real ceiling. I mean, if you look at his last 10 games, the guy hasn't exceeded 20 points once. I'm just concerned here. He's 3,500, which is very intriguing to me, especially with the news of Seth Curry out. But, I mean, I feel like Kyrie and KD are just such usage hogs, and they're going to carry this team. I mean, Patty Mills only needs like 20 DK points to get there at 3,500. But I don't know. I think it was Dello that was talking about Patty Mills, that no one's going to play him. And, I mean, it's just I don't see a ceiling here, especially with the big 2 in the game. So I don't think I'm going to get to Dragic. He's over 4K. He's not going to play those minutes, obviously. Patty Mills, I don't know. I can't get myself to click to play him, Joe, personally. So I'm not feeling anything else. It's really just Drummond's my focus here with some exposure to KD or Kyrie, but mainly KD over Kyrie.
I am same boat with you there. I think if choosing between Patty Mills and Dragic, it would still be Dragic. But the issue is, like, all of the value on this slate is almost, I shouldn't say all, like 80% of it is at the guard position. So, Let's flip over to the Orlando side. Obviously, Jalen Suggs out. RJ Hampton starting, as we've seen the last couple of times with Suggs out. Hampton has really not done anything in his last few starts relative to what we saw earlier in the season. But at 3-4, he is game script proof, especially starting now. I still like RJ Hampton quite a bit for the sheer ceiling he brings with little downside at his price. Are you on RJ Hampton? And from there, where else are you going on Orlando?
Nope, that's my fate of the night, Joe. So
I like
I'm only running three lineups today, and I'm not going to play RJ Hampton.
Okay,
you know,
interesting.
you look at him. He's gone 22 or more minutes in 6 straight games, and he hasn't exceeded 20 points once. I don't see how it's going to change here against Brooklyn. I mean, it could. Brooklyn defense, obviously, it improves with KD in, but it's still not a defense that I'm scared of. But I just don't see a safe floor. Maybe 18, 19 points could be optimal here for RJ Hampton, but I'm just going to use value elsewhere. I'm not going to play RJ Hampton chalk. I take it he's going to be chalk because he was announced starting about 27 hours ago. But for me, this is the stand I'm going to take today, Joe. So I'm going to avoid RJ Hampton. The guy that I absolutely love, and I wrote him up, is Wendell Carter Jr. He's a guy that I'm going to focus on in quite a bit of my lineups. The guy's just been on fire. Like, he's playing to what he was basically touted out to be. Like, this is the Wendell Carter we've been waiting for. You know, I was at the game against the Heat where I thought he was out for the year. Like, he was crying. I think he thought he was out for the year. And this guy's just stepped his game up. He's got 38 or more DraftKings points in 6 of his last 7 games. Obviously, we want more than 38, but he has exceeded 45 DK points in 3 of those 6. So this guy's playing awesome right now. And the way that you beat the Brooklyn Nets is through the big man. I don't think Kevin Durant will be covering Carter, but he might see him on defense a little bit. But even if that's the case, I think this is a smash spot for him. I think Mo Bamba is in a phenomenal spot too. We see that his minutes are creeping up. I'm worried about his minutes, just like every other big man on the slate. But it seems as of recently, he's been getting some more minutes. And I don't hate playing both of them together. I don't think I will. But Carter Jr. is my focus here, Joe.
Yeah, I love Wendell Carter. He's a staple in my lineup right now. I don't think his price. You can argue he should be $1,000 more than what he is. Obviously, Andre Drummond there, I don't want to say limits his rebounding upside, but definitely makes it a little more challenging. But at the same time, like, if they're playing through him like they are, it's really hard to get away from as long as they keep this game semi-close. I also like Markelle Fultz is another player I want to talk about. Like, his minutes are pretty steady within the 16 to 20 range, but the hyper efficiency is insane. 32.5 DraftKings points in 19 minutes last game, 30.75 in 18 minutes before, 21.75 in 17 minutes before. Would you rather play RJ Hampton or Markelle Fultz?
I prefer to play Fultz. He's just been so efficient since he's come back. I'm just worried about his minutes. Like, he hasn't exceeded 20 minutes in the 6 games he's played. But in his last 3 games, he's got 21 or more DK points. He's getting a shit ton less minutes than RJ Hampton, and he's just beating him every time he plays. So I much prefer, if you're going to, obviously you're going to pay a little bit more with Markelle Fultz, but I prefer Fultz over Hampton if you're going to go that route. I just, until we see an increase in minutes, I mean, we saw his ceiling against Philadelphia when he got 32 DK points and then 30 against Minnesota. If this guy just got more minutes, I'd play him, but maybe I take a shot or two. Again, I'm not playing RJ Hampton, but maybe I'll take a shot at Fultz. As of right now, I don't have him in any of my 3 lineups, but I might, man. He's been so good. What
about would you rather Markelle Fultz or Goran Dragic at the same price?
I prefer Fultz.
I like it. Would that change if Dragic starts?
I think I'm still going to go Fultz. I think Dragic is going to get a ton of he'll get 30-plus minutes, but I think I'll take a shot at Fultz. Again, I don't think I'm going to play any of them. I think it's just getting a little too cute, but I agree. He's not going to see any meaningful minutes boost, but I'm not going to. I don't think I'm going to get there. But if I had to choose between Fultz and Dragic and RJ Hampton, it's going to be Fultz for me. So
I like it. So let's flip. Let me look at the rest of this. Any Cole Anthony love or anything with Jalen Suggs out? 6'3" is a really cheap price, but this is a player that just continues to burn people.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. I mean, there is a ceiling there for him at 6,300, but I'm not going to get there today. I as of right now, I don't. And every time I play him, he burns me. If I don't play him, then he goes for 60 burgers. So I'm not playing him today. So you guys should definitely jump on there.
I'm not playing him either. So let's move over to the Detroit Pistons taking on your Miami Heat in Miami. The Heat 13.5-point home favorites, 213.5 total, the lowest total on the slate by 19 points. Every other game has it over 230 total. But this is Miami Heat basketball. It's gritty, it's slow. Cade Cunningham out, Isaiah Stewart back, Marvin Bagley back. Let's start with Detroit. Does Cade Cunningham out do anything for you, especially still with Hamidou Diallo out, who is one that typically sees the bump when Cade sits?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to go towards like Corey Joseph and Killian Hayes and Saban Lee and like those guys. And those guys are just such low usage guys. I don't think I'm going to get there. The focus here for me for Detroit is probably going to be Saddiq Bey or Jeremy Grant. I don't think I'll play both. It's going to be one or the other. Again, this Miami team plays slow. They're great defensively. They're the greatest team on the planet, Joe.
Yeah, I bet.
Greatest team on the planet. I don't know how they keep this close with no Cade. I wish Cade Cunningham was playing just so that we don't have the blowout. But again, I've said it many times now. I'm not playing for blowouts anymore. I'm just going to play it as if the game stays close. Look what happened yesterday with Trae Young against Portland.
Yeah,
the game
that's
stayed
very
close
true.
and we broke the slate. So you never know what's going to happen here. But for me, it's really just focusing on one of those two guys. I think Jeremy Grant, Saddiq Bey, Marvin Bagley, who we've seen the resurgence here since getting minutes and starting. I think one of these three guys is fine, but I wouldn't play more than one in the lineup just because in case this game does get out of hand. But someone's going to have to carry the usage here over with Cade Cunningham out. And it's going to be one of those three guys. Like for me, I lean Jeremy Grant. I think he's going to be, his minutes obviously are far from secure, but maybe he has to play a little bit more in order to get there. So I do like, if I had to rank it, it's going to be Grant, then Bey, then actually Grant, then Bagley, then Bey. I just hate playing Saddiq Bey. He's so one-dimensional. But I think getting as of right now, I have one Piston in every lineup. So I have Grant in one, Bey in one.
Yeah. I don't hate that. I don't have anyone from this game in my single entry. I think if there's a game to fade, this is the one. But I think there is also an edge to getting some Detroit exposure. My only concern with Saddiq Bey is that he's going to be the target for Jimmy Butler just about all game. I like both Bey and Grant just fine. Zach has them ranked as an 8 each. Isaiah Stewart, I'm okay passing on, given the defender that Bam is and the problems he presents down in the low post. Corey Joseph, if I'm targeting someone in this backcourt, is probably who I would want. But I still think I prefer a 4-2 Goron Dragic over a 4-4 Corey Joseph, just from a per minute production almost any day of the week. So let's flip to the Miami side. 13.5-point spread. Obviously, like we saw last night, anything can happen, especially March in the NBA. Do you have any interest here? Jimmy Butler is really cheap.
No. The focus for me is going to be Bam Adebayo. Like he's going to eat this team up. That's the main guy that I'm focusing on here. I think he's severely cheap, like 8,200 for Bam. In the live final, he had 60 DK points. He was in a phenomenal spot here against Cleveland without Jared Allen, and he can crush here that price tag. So he's playing some of his best basketball. He does have 45 or more DK points in 3 of his last 6 games. He had some tough matchups back there before that. Don't include that Houston game. That was obviously not a tough matchup, but it was a blowout. So if this game stays close, I think Bam's the one that's going to get there. Jimmy Butler, he really hasn't done much from a DFS perspective. Like, then again, he's not like really exceeding 35 minutes here, but he has his last game at 44 DK points was his highest in the last 7 games. So I'm a little concerned about Jimmy Butler. Like, we're not really seeing a true ceiling here. So for me, it's more Bam Adebayo than Jimmy Butler, but I'll have exposure to both. But Bam is the one I like.
Yep, I like Bam a lot here. This is a front court that you can really beat up. I think Isaiah Stewart helps Bam a bit because it'll keep him closer to the rim. He's not a big that'll stretch the floor by any means. Triple H in chat is asking us, is Marvin Bagley a fade now that Beef Stew is back? I don't think he's a complete fade, but like you look like I would much rather play Isaiah Jackson for 5-2. I actually like Isaiah Jackson quite a bit today, but I would much rather play him for 5.2 than I would be to play. I'm blanking. Why can't I find Marvin Bagley for 5.9? I believe is a pretty damn expensive price tag for him.
For me, it's like if it's a blowout, like if that game gets out of
Yeah.
hand, I think Bagley's gonna get the blowout run. But again, I'm not playing as if there's a blowout, but maybe in one lineup I'll do it.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Dragic starting, by the way. So
is he okay? Interesting. So I think that kind of locks him in for 30 minutes. Now I'm considering like RJ Hampton or Dragic now is a very, very real conversation to have. So let's go. We still have a half hour, but let's go to the Phoenix and New Orleans game. We'll talk about that, then circle back to what this Dragic news does, run through ranks, and just talk slate and questions. I guess I should go through the Vegas data first. This game, 4.5 point road favorites are the Suns, 231 point total. My favorite way to start my lineup on this slate is by locking in both CJ McCollum and Devin Booker. Very easy to do.
In, huh?
Oh yeah.
I'm
a one lineup guy, single entry guy, but both CJ McCollum and Devin Booker are two cornerstones of my single entry lineup. They correlate well. Obviously, you're expecting the spread to be indicative of what the game will be and stay close. They both see massive assist rates and rates in both usage and touches with their respective teammates in Brandon Ingram and Chris Paul off the floor. They have upside comparable to that of like Kyrie Irving for cheaper. I think the only person that has higher upside than these guys on the slate is Kevin Durant.
Yep. No, I agree. And I saw your write-up on CJ McCollum. Props to you, Joe. And I know it was tweeted out about the usage rate. It's just an incredible usage rate since coming over to this team. He's seen basically a resurgence in his career. So maybe it is the departure from Portland that made him play how he's playing today. But I'm very impressed with this game. And with no Brandon Ingram, I don't see why we wouldn't play him. So CJ McCollum, I love him a lot as well. And Devin Booker on the other side, I wrote up Devin Booker. And I love it as a mini stack too. I'm afraid that these guys are going to garner a shit ton of ownership, but it's a 4-game slate. I think having one of these two guys, my plan is to have two in one lineup, one of them in another lineup, and then have the other one in the other lineup. And that's how I'm going to hedge it. So hedge life is the best life, Joe.
It is. You made me a lot of money in League of Legends with hedge life. So I won't disagree there. So let's look at the rest of. Let's start with New Orleans because obviously CJ back will kind of ding the stock of a now expensive Devontae Graham to a point where I don't want to say he's completely unplayable, but a lot has to go right for him to do really well. Herb Jones, Trey Murphy priced up, Najee Marshall priced up. All of these guys to me that I just named are a little too expensive for my liking. I think if I were to go anywhere, it'd be Joe Val at 8.6 just to get different, or Jackson Hayes at 5.3 would be my favorite of that group. Who are you? If you're MME, who would you target on New Orleans?
Man, I really don't want to play any of these guys, to be honest. It's just not like J-Val. I just feel like they're going to, even last game in the blowout against Houston, he only got 27 minutes. I mean, he blew up 54 DK points, but his minutes have been kind of fluctuating. So a little concerning here. Plus, I don't love his matchup. Like DeAndre Ayton is a sneaky good defender here. So I'm not really on it. I prefer Ayton on the other side. Like if you're not going to play Booker, I love playing Ayton. Like I think he's super sneaky today, and he's going to have zero ownership. Like everyone's going to play Drummond, Bam potentially. I just think that this is a smash spot for Ayton too, and I low ownership. Give me all the Ayton here.
Yeah, I don't disagree whatsoever with DeAndre Ayton. I don't mind Mikal Bridges at 5'9". But he's just a player that's like perpetually burned me quite a bit, especially at this price. So looking at what about Campaign? Any interest there? He's expensive. 7, I think it was 7.7 on DraftKings. Like that's really expensive to the point where I think like if you're expecting 35 to 40 out of them at this price, like I don't think that's enough to kind of get you over the hump.
Yeah. No thanks. I'll pass. It's just too rich for my blood, really.
What about any Jay Crowder?
Nope, another guy that's overpriced. So
yep, I agree wholeheartedly. So let's again, that was only a 4-game slate, so we still have 25 minutes. We probably won't stay on till lock, but Let's look for questions in the chat. Triple H asking, is Jimmy Butler and Bam okay to pair together?
Is Jimmy Butler and Bam? No, I would. I'd go to one or the other, especially if this. I mean, it's a big spread, guys. So keep that in mind.
I would also go one or the other, and I, like you, actually prefer Bam over Jimmy. People are talking about Brandon Clark. That's a play I didn't mention. I like Brandon Clark a lot. Like, I don't have him in my single entry, but for his price, I believe he's still 4-4. He's a really elite per minute producer. If you aren't playing Jaren Jackson, you should probably play Brandon Clark. He's the one that benefits the most when Jaren Jackson gets in foul trouble. When he gets 20-plus minutes, he's a very, very good producer. If you go Jimmy and Bam, you then have to run it back. I agree. Someone's asking you, Booker and Sadiq Bey or Kevin Durant and Markelle Fultz?
I'm going to go Booker and Bey if you don't have Grant in there. If you have Grant in there, then I go Katie and Fultz.
Yep, I agree. I'm just scrolling through looking for questions here. Is Durant a much better play than CJ?
Yeah, but he's also a much more expensive play.
Yeah,
so.
it's hard to compare those two in a vacuum.
Yeah.
How many
Grizz
are too many?
Yeah,
What'd you say?
No, I was just reading the question.
I think I wouldn't go past 3, but I think if you do go 4, I think I'm not really comfortable with 4, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd probably max it at 3.
Yeah, I agree. Jake Anderson saying, I do agree that Bey is starting to look good, even though it feels disgusting. Sadiq Bey never feels good. He really doesn't.
Yeah, I hate playing that guy.
Yeah, so do I. Herm's getting 50%.
Yikes.
That is a lot. Wow.
It's a lot of Bey.
Yeah. So what is your, I guess you're running 3 lines. What's your general strategy for the slate? Do you have a core that people were asking for your sexy 6 earlier? Do you have a core to share, or what's your strategy?
Yeah. So I'm gonna pull a David Jones moment. It's on my article, and nothing really has changed really, but I guess if there is an update here, like what I'm doing here is probably locking in Tyus Jones in all my lineups at 3,400, just because I do think that's a free square here. And then what I'm also doing is having CJ McCollum and Devin Booker in one lineup, then playing one of CJ McCollum or Devin Booker, and then playing the other one in my lineup. I have one lineup with Jeremy Grant, one lineup with Sadiq Bey, and I did fade Bagley. You guys talked me into it a little bit, so I do love Wendell Carter. I have him in 2 of my lineups, so he's kind of a core guy here. And then I have Bam in 1, Jimmy in 1, and then faded both in another. So I'm kind of like spreading out. I'm literally hedging with my 3 lineups, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to see if KD fits in there. I'm trying not to do more than 3 Memphis Grizzlies, but I mean a 3 max entry. That's what I would do. I'm not in a 3 max tournament, but I'm just have them in different tournaments, and that's how I'm hedging myself today.
Yep, agreed. So the Pacers starting Halliburton, Brogdon, Hield, Brissett, Jackson. I love Isaiah Jackson today. He's actually coming on as one of my favorite plays on the slate. P-Buck is asking you Isaiah Jackson and Jaren Jackson or Brandon Clark and Ayton. I'm on the first. Oh, I see you're also on the first, so we agree there. Rybutt said Kyrie can't play tomorrow night. He should play 40-ish minutes tonight. He can't play tonight or tomorrow, but I don't truthfully think that has anything to do with how much he'll play today. They're not going to force him for 40 minutes against the Pistons, the Magic, excuse me, if they don't have to. Is Najee Marshall in play at 5K with Brandon Ingram out? I'm off of it.
Yeah, it's too expensive. For my blood.
Like he's 5'7" on DraftKings. I think there's more appeal on FanDuel, but I still think you could, or 5'4" on DraftKings. You could probably find better. Like is Bruce Brown someone that's in that price range, Triple H? Because that'd be someone I'd be more interested in. Someone said, was there anyone else important out during this stretch that would be skewing it? That's what Shazam is asking us. 14 game. Hamidou Diallo is the answer. Yes. I believe Jeremy Grant might have missed some time in there as well. I'm looking for more. Triple H is asking you, why don't you like Jackson Hayes?
He's just a low usage guy. Like, is it Jackson Hayes or did he say Killian Hayes? I think
Oh,
it's
was it? Oh, it might have been Killian Hayes.
yeah,
That's
Killian Hayes
my mistake. If it's
should
Killian Hayes,
start.
yeah.
Yeah, he's like an RJ Hampton, in my opinion. He's a low usage guy. He's not gonna. He doesn't really have a legit ceiling here. He's got a tough matchup. And I feel like if we get he should be announced starting. I feel like he's going to be overowned. So yeah, I'll pass. I prefer to play Dragic if that's what you're going to do.
Yep. Let me keep looking here.
Ooh, that's tough. Brogdon or Aiden? Ooh, that's a tough one there.
I think I would go Brogdon.
Yeah, me too.
It is close. It's very, very close. So, Rybuts, what do we do with Dragic?
I think I have him in one of my three. I'm a little worried about his upside, really, with Kyrie and Durant there. And if the game does get out of hand, he's going to be definitely one of the first guys that sits down. So,
yeah, I'm debating if I'm going to play Dragic in my single entry right now. I'm leaning no, but he's a very, very strong play. Let me see if projections updated. So, last update for the projections was right now, actually. So let me look. If Dragic is now projecting for 22.8% ownership, 22.94 fantasy points. That's 5.46x value. Booker, no Booker. Yeah, I agree with you. If you have no Booker, I would debate Ayton as well. I'm really coming around on that Brogdon call quite a bit.
Me too.
I'm trying to fit him in. Play him. Yeah, but there's so many guards on this slate, and he's point guard only, which really hurts. Trying to see. I'm looking at the ranking team. Oh, what about other players we didn't talk about? Tyler Hero, 7'6". Any interest there?
No, that's way too expensive for Tyler Hero with a healthy Heat team. He's been playing good. I know that's your boy, but no.
I love Tyler. That is my boy. I grew up 5-10 minutes on the road from me. Yeah. Bay was 0.97. Yep, that'll get the job done. At that rate. Is 3 Grizzlies too much? No. I don't think it's too much. Or excuse me, he said, is it okay? Yes, it's okay.
What about Terry Taylor? Do you have any love there? He got 25 minutes last game.
I think there's some. I think there is merit to Terry Taylor. He's a little undersized for the 4-5 that he plays. I believe. Let me pull it up. I believe he's like 6'6". I know Isaiah Jackson's only 6'8", 6'9", but they're rolling out. Yeah, Terry Taylor 6'5". My concern is they're playing a pretty big front court in Steven Adams and Jaren Jackson. Where I don't know if 25 to 30 is in the cards. I think he's going to hover around the 20 to 22. For 3-2, I think you can do a whole lot worse though. Like. There's 0 forward value on this slate. I think he would be my favorite at 3-2.
Yeah, I'm leaning. I have enough for RJ Hampton, but I'm sticking to the fade. I'm not playing RJ Hampton. I just don't see any. There's no upside there. I mean, he's been getting the minutes, and I don't want to play Terry Taylor either, though. Yikes.
No, neither do I. Let's see. I just got a DM. They're asking me the same question. I'm debating my lineup. It's Hampton plus Wendell Carter Jr. or Dragic plus Drummond. I have the Magic guys, but I am debating. I'm working out which one I want to do more as we speak. Last one is paying 6,900 still okay. I think okay is the best way to describe that. But I don't. It's campaign for 6'9". I don't love it. I don't hate it though. Quit duping me. I don't think I'm duping anybody. Someone said earlier, I think it was Rybutt saying he likes Max Struss tonight. You're the Heat guy. Do you have any interest in Max Struss with a fully healthy team?
No, I don't know why we would like him here in the spot.
No, I don't either.
I mean, if the game gets out of hand quickly, then yeah, maybe. But no, thank you.
Okay.
I am the Heat guy. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
Hey, I can give some kudos where they're due. RG has Bam as the 4th highest owned guy on the slate. What the hell? Let me look what we have. We have Bam. Why is it not? There we go. Bam is the 9th highest owned. Wow. Yeah, we have Bam at 28%. That seems a lot more likely. Our ownership right now, it's Tyus Jones, Dylan Brooks, CJ McCollum, Isaiah Jackson at 4, Wendell Carter, Jaren Jackson, Devin Booker, RJ Hampton, then Bam and Kevin Durant rounding out the top 10. Then it's Andre Drummond, Sadiq Bey, Butler, Brown, Dragic, and Bane right outside of that. Bamba and Booker or CJ and Drummond? I'm CJ and Drummond.
CJ and Drummond, yeah.
Dragic or Fultz?
Safer is Dragic, just because of the minutes. But, oh, man, I like Fultz today. I think he's going to get 0 ownership. But his minutes are not secure. They're just in tank mode. He's not going to get over 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Looks like Jake's saying he's about to have 40-ish%. Dragic, I believe that is.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. What's your? I know your big stand is RJ Hampton, right? You're fading.
I put him in one lineup.
I'd still say it's a fade. If you want
I guess. I don't want to. I just don't trust Terry Taylor and his minutes.
I don't blame you. Let me look here. Find this.
Yeah, I like this.
Is this all? I assume they're all talking percentage of exposure for Dragic. Terry Taylor sounds like a used car salesman. Does that do enough to talk you off of him?
Yeah, I'm on it. Let's go. Sign me up. Sign me up.
I'm trying to think. I'm looking through the player pool to see if there's anyone we didn't really address.
He does look
Buddy
like
Hield, we talked about a bit. Kyle Lowry, I have no interest in. Jeremy Grant 6'4" is really interesting to me. That's really, really cheap, but I just don't think I can do it.
Man, Dylan Brooks is gonna break the slate, isn't he? I only have 1 of 3 of him. I'm a little concerned about that.
I have Dylan Brooks is 1 of 3 Grizzlies I have in my lineup. He's just too cheap to me. Like, I understand the minutes concern, but he is so cheap.
Yeah. Aiden or Joe Val? Aiden for sure. I'm not playing Joe Val.
Yes. I would save the money. Save the money. Yeah, and that's crazy. RJ Hampton is as tall as Terry Taylor. Terry Taylor's a 4'5". RJ Hampton's a 1'2". Makes no sense.
KD and Bamba or CJ and I'm gonna go 2 for sure. I don't think it's close either.
I'm 2 as well. I agree. Like, Bamba's the clear odd one out there, I think. Barring a KD ceiling game, I 100% go 2. Bay or Bagley? Bay for me.
DeAndre Ayton.
Wait, did you mispronounce his name? I must have missed that.
They're saying I said Aiden, but I don't think so.
Huh. Hey, the customer's always right, from what I remember. So
I'm in sales.
Hampton
I know.
KD or Brogdon and Jaren Jackson. That's Brogdon and Jaren Jackson for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Well done, Mr. Eden.
Brogdon could break the slate, guys. I don't know.
Good. He very well could. Someone saying Jimmy wait, let me read this right. What? Hold on, I'm trying to clarity on this question. That makes no sense.
Well done, Mr. Eden. Franz Wagner as a pivot off Isaiah Jackson foul prone. As yay or nay? Yay. I think he's fine.
I like Isaiah Jackson quite a bit.
Yeah, I like Isaiah Jackson more, though, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see here. You talked me to 25% Brogdon. I like Brogdon quite a bit. I like that a lot.
Yep.
How about Carter as a captain in the main DK showdown for the Brooklyn game? I think Carter would probably be my preferred captain in that game.
For sure.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think if you want different captains, I think I like Drummond a lot as a captain against this front court. And then I think you can also go obviously one of Kyrie or KD and just sacrifice financially elsewhere since there is so much value on the slate. Is Dragic, Kyrie, and Drummond too many nets?
It's a little much.
It's a little much, but I don't think Drummond really affects the other two. It's really, do you want to play Dragic and Kyrie next to each other? If that were to happen in my lineup, I wouldn't like go to the end of the earth to pivot off of it, but it's definitely not something I would be prioritizing or trying to do intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All the Jackson love feels a bit chasey. Which Jackson love? Like, for what it's worth, Isaiah Jackson's ceiling is absurd. And I personally don't think it's chasey if we're getting 28 to 30 minutes out of him with his permanent production. Any Bruce Brown love?
No, not tonight.
Yeah, I'm okay on Bruce Brown. 5'2" is just a little expensive for me. I would just much rather go Desmond Bain.
You were talking about Jackson Hayes. You said you liked him or no?
Yeah, I don't hate Jackson Hayes. I think he's a good permanent producer. Very volatile, but I think the ceiling is there. Jaren Jackson Jr. 100% for 3 entry max or pivot off of 1 for Carter. Pivot off of 1 for Carter. 100%. Pivot off of 1 for Carter. Carter, is he your favorite center on the slate?
My favorite power forward center. Yeah, power forward. Yeah, I like the way he's been playing lately. Dude's on fire.
Yeah, he's playing really, really well. I'm just curious how this game flow goes. I don't think it'll blow out at all. There we go.
Got like 100 fighter jets flying over my. It's great. It's like Kyle's police cars in the background every show.
I think I made my mind up. I think I'm going Drummond, Dragic over Wendell Carter and Hampton. I'm on the Hampton fade train with you. It's just the only thing hanging me up was the Wendell Carter fade.
Do it.
But I might be able to, if I play Brandon Clark, I think I might be able to get it. Oh, I could. Interesting. Yeah, RJ Hampton should scare you. It's not a bad play by any means, but I also don't think it's necessarily a smash play at all.
I personally think it's a bad play.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great play either.
I'd honestly play Killian Hayes. Yeah. Killian Hayes is another. He's like RJ Hampton Jr. though, Ricky. It's the only thing.
Yeah. I think RJ Hampton Jr. is a good way to put it.
Dang, $200 over a. Don't you hate it when that happens? $200 over a lineup that you really like.
I know that happens too frequently, to be honest.
Any other questions here? Let's see.
Someone said I'd honestly play Killian Hayes over Hampton. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility.
I landed on Franz Wagner in a lineup. Let's see how that goes. Big yikes.
Interesting.
Not
Why
a fan
not Cole
of
for 5'7"? I think 5'7" for Cole's fine. I don't love the play by any means, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's not my favorite play.
Oh God, fading Jaren Jackson feels horrible, but I think I'm gonna do it.
Do it, Joe. Don't be a coward.
I think I am doing it. I am. Fuck it. Let's go take a spin. I want to look at ownership one more time. I'd play Cole's dad, Greg Anthony, over him. Yeah, I mean, hey, Greg Anthony was a great basketball player. Don't know if that would hold up now, but sure.
Cole Anthony. I didn't know that was his son.
Yeah, Greg Anthony is Cole Anthony's dad.
Interesting. 5 minutes to lock. JJJ and Bay or Jackson and Wendell Carter. Ooh, that is tough.
I assume that's Isaiah Jackson, right?
Yeah,
I lean the second because I have them in my lineup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Herm didn't know that either. See that? We learn something new every day, Herm.
I'm like 99% sure, which is why Greg Anthony was involved with the dunk contest for Cole Anthony.
There you have it.
Yep, Greg Anthony is Cole Anthony's dad. I was right. Wait, yeah. Is Herm trolling? Now I'm going to backpedal a little bit because I feel like Herm is definitely being facetious. Oh, he's not. He said he's serious. Yeah. That is his dad, his father. All right, I'm locking my lineup in. Fuck it. All right, we're set. Oh, God, I hate Fiend Jared Jackson. Because the thing is, when I play, it's hard. Because when I play him, he's 5 fouls in 3 quarters. If I don't, he has a moon game.
I am playing RJ Hampton, and I hate it.
I don't have RJ Hampton either. I'm pretty okay with it. I
don't want to play. It's either Terry Taylor or him. That's my problem.
I would go Hampton. I have zero exposure to the Miami-Detroit game.
I don't hate it. That game can get out of hand fast.
Yep, 100%. Josh is saying, Joe, remember when you faded Trey? Yeah, I went DeJounte over Trey. Hey, I still cashed. I still hit all my – I still cashed last night. But, yes, I do remember I wrote him up and then faded him for DeJounte Murray. I saw my DeJounte Murray shirt in my dresser, and I was like, I have to play him. It didn't work out.
It's okay, Joe. It happens.
It does. He hit. Oh, God, they're talking about the Tim's dunk. That dunk contest was horrible.
I didn't even watch it.
It was God awful.
Let's see.
Josh has JJJ for 1,000 points, apparently. That is quite a lot.
Oh, no. I got to get JJJ in a lineup. I missed him. No. How much time I got? 2 minutes.
You got 2 minutes. You're fine. Drummond and Campaign or Bam and Isaiah Jackson? Bam and Isaiah Jackson for me.
I agree with that.
All right, I'm pretty locked on what I have. I like it. No RJ Hampton is what I'm happiest about, I think.
Yeah, I'm not happy that I played him in one, but could be worse, I guess.
It could be. I mean, you could be playing Terry Taylor.
You could be playing Terry Taylor.
Thoughts on JJJ / Oh, I already asked that. So Drummond and Campaign or Bam and Isaiah Jackson, they do have Jimmy Butler. I would still go Bam and Isaiah Jackson, to be honest.
I agree. Yep.
Marshall dropping and Campaign is winning someone $100K a night.
Oh,
Marshall, if that happens, I'll buy you a Campaign shirt. You have my word. If Optimal has Campaign, you will get a Campaign shirt on me. I also owe NA Ricky burgers because Aaron Wiggins dropped a 30 burger. So NA Ricky, shoot me a DM. I owe you some cheeseburgers. We have 1 minute until lock, and then we'll get out of here.
Terry Taylor is the nation's largest private owner of automotive dealership. That's actually really funny.
Doesn't he sound like he sounds like the owner of a used car lot?
He does. That's actually pretty funny.
When Opto has Jaren Jackson, I'm buying you a Jaren Jackson jersey. Okay. That's zero loss for me. Okay. I'll take it. So we are at lock. We'll get up out of here. I'll be in Discord. We have an hour to the next game. I'll be in Discord in and out. I doubt there'll be news, but I will be here. Javi, I appreciate you hopping on. Are you back on stream tomorrow?
I am not. I'm not back till Saturday, but I'll be around, guys. I'm always around. I live in Discord.
We like it. Well, for Javi, for Joe, thank you guys for joining us. Javi, do you have the beans video queued up?
Oh, I got the beans videos teed up. I was just waiting for you to say goodbye,
I like it. Without further ado,
Let's get these beans.